All right, so we've assembled the probe, we've gone out and we've collected the samples. This third step is showing you how to calibrate your nitrate meter, okay? Now we should have a little bit of that 2,000 part per million standard on the probe, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna rinse this off. Just with tap water is fine. Whoa, try not to make too big of a mess. And then we provided you these chem wipes, which are just kind of non-lint based tissues. Kleenex will work just fine if you run out of these. We're just simply going to dab, ensuring that all of the water is off the probe. Okay. So the first step for calibrating, we're going to turn this thing on. And you can see in the box, it's giving us a reading of 14 part per million nitrate, 13 here, and then there's this little measure, MEAS box. But we want to calibrate it. Now calibration is very important, so we can actually like fine tune and align the meter. So every time we do this, every sampling, if you wait a week or more, you want to recalibrate this before you use it. So the meter is kind of perfectly tweaked. It's a fine tuning of sorts. So to do that, there's this CAL, calibrate button here that we're going to hit in a second. But we're going to go to our standard carrying case. We're going to open this and we're going to find, again, our two standard solutions. Now, there's a 2,000 part per million, and that's what that ppm stands for, and then 150 ppm part per million. We use both of these for this meter, okay? And this is a known concentration of nitrate in each one of these, and this of course came with the probe itself. So to get started, we're gonna start with this 150 part per million. We're gonna press and hold this calibrate button at the bottom, and what do you see? You see CAL with this 150 part per million. So I'm gonna open this up, and I'm going to, again, put enough to cover the bottom of that probe. Now it's important that we cover the two circles in there because both of those are important for reading, okay? You can see that this is flashing 150. I'm gonna close this up. You don't have to snap the cap tight. And I'm gonna push this cal button. And you'll see this smiley face and this cal flash. And at some point, if you notice, the smiling face stopped and the calibration stopped. So we're good and calibrated at 150. So it's fine-tuned this down to 150 part per million. We're gonna take and we're gonna rinse this off again, just like we did before with tap water. We wanna make sure all of that solution, or all that calibration solution is gone and rinsed out. Again, we take our chem wipe tissue and pat dry. Now we're going to do the second step. The second step requires this 2,000 part per million. We're going to open this up. We're going to put this in. Close that up. And well, we're going to hit this calibrating button again, and it's going to flash 2,000, okay? And so that's telling us that it's ready to calibrate at this 2,000 part per million. We're going to hit it a final time. The calibration and smiley face flash at the same time. They stop, and it's good. So the meter is essentially calibrated. You'll notice when I first added that, it did give me a reading of 2,000, so the meter was actually reading this perfectly well, but we calibrate anyways just to make sure that it's fine tweaked, okay? So now at this point, we're going to, final time, rinse this calibration solution off. And dry it with a chem wipe. And at this point, our probe is calibrated. It's ready to go. We're ready to start reading, okay? You can turn, once calibrated, you can turn the probe on and off, and it's fine. The calibration will hold for, they don't really give, the manufacturer doesn't give a distinct time frame, but within a few days if you're going to be using this. So for the purposes of this study, we're going to say we want you to do this step before every 2-week sampling, just so we're perfectly sure we're getting as good a data as we possibly can. So your meter is calibrated. On to step 4.